Hey Sarah, it is currently 2 in the morning on New Year's Eve. I have Yuki out right now, clearly. Um, I don't have my microphone hooked up right now, so I'm just using my camera's microphone, so I'm not really sure how this is gonna come out quality-wise. But I'm gonna, obviously, this is the best that I can do right now, because I left my laptop upstairs, and I don't feel like going upstairs. It's only 2 in the morning of 2026. It has been less than 2 hours because it's not even 2 a.m. yet. And already this year feels so heavy to me. I think the best way to explain it is grief. I had a lot of plans and expectations for last year. I didn't expect last year to go anything the way that it did. And not because of the new year, but because of the timing and where I am with my healing with everything. I've just been kind of thinking a lot about the things that I've gone through and just how different life is now than it was back then. And just been thinking in general about that a lot. And through every holiday that's come up, through Thanksgiving, through Christmas Eve, through Christmas, and now New Year's, it's all kind of brought itself back up. That comparison of where this year is now and where I thought it would be, or I guess where last year was at those times as opposed to where... I know. Can you make this like here? Or not at all? I just don't want you eating my cards. Dealing with all of that. And the comparison of, where I wanted to be, or thought I would be, and where I am in those current moments. That's Yuki taking this bath. And currently it feels very heavy. It's not even like a painful heavy, it's just like an awareness heavy. Like this awareness of everything that was supposed to be and everything that ended up becoming. For me, it really felt like my year started in April. I had a really big life event happen in April. And to me, it kind of felt like my whole life started when that event was all said and done. It felt like I could finally start being myself. And I spent a lot of time after that not being myself, trying to push past all of the pain that I had leading up to that event and all of the pain that caused me to choose for that event to go on. And so now it's just kind of dealing with that grief of the life that I thought that I was gonna have versus the life that I do have now. Granted, I am very grateful that the life that I have now is so much better than it probably could have ever been. But it's bizarre. Thinking back to times like when I visited my sister Emma in Florida, thinking back to times like when I went to my friend Paul's lake house, or when he invited me over for Memorial Day, or all the times that I worked on cars with him and his friend Nick. Thinking about meeting my current boyfriend. Not meeting him. I met him oh my goodness, 2026. I met him in 2024, I think. getting to be honest with him and telling him that I loved him, and then him becoming my boyfriend. Which are all things that would not and could not have had happened if what happened in April didn't. And what had happened then was coming for a long time. It had been coming for almost a year at that point. I tried to do it a year before, but that didn't work out too well. But it just, everything feels heavy, everything feels like it's weighing on me in this way that's just so hard to explain. Because I have a life that I never thought that I would have. I have confidence that I never thought that I'd have. I have friends and I have love, both for people and from people that I never thought that I'd have. And it's just all very weird and strange. You know, I go through events and the people next to me aren't the people that I thought that I would have next to me. And there's such a feeling of gratefulness for that I wasn't expecting to ever have. Sometimes I'll go through something and I think to myself, if certain people were still in my life, that those events wouldn't have gone as smoothly or wouldn't have gone the way that they did, and that I wouldn't have had those happy moments like I did. And just being grateful that I have that. But for whatever reason, that all feels so heavy for me. And I don't really know why it feels so heavy for me. I can only guess it's because I was promised those things, but was never given it to me. So getting to finally have those experiences by myself is nice, but it can hurt because I had to wait to be out of the situation that I was in to be able to finally get them. Yeah. Just a lot of stuff like that. A lot of weight from expectations that I now have of myself that I would have never had before. Things like finding a career and finding a job that I actually like. Things like trying to get a job in this economy. Things like trying to build who I am and who I've always wanted to be, dressing how I've always wanted to. Right now feeling low, I'm just in pajamas. But I also, as much as I grew this year and had good memories, I fell down a lot. I had entire months where I just stayed in bed and did nothing. Like, I can't remember most of November. I just remember I went upstate like 4 times. You know, I spent a lot of this year just sitting doing nothing. Just waiting for things to end, or after things ended, just waiting to start anew and not knowing how, and instead of doing anything for a how, of just not doing anything at all, and just sitting there doing nothing. And I think that's where more so of that grief comes in, is that between April and August, and even parts of September, I was really thriving. I was pushing myself to go out with friends. I was pushing myself to go places and do things and work on myself and work through my emotions and, you know, pushing myself to be who I've always wanted to be and to do the things that I always wanted to do and get back into hobbies and find myself and find that inner peace. But then when it came to after that, you know, September, October, November, December. In December, I didn't even make plans with anybody. I didn't even make plans with myself because I was just so down and so confused. You know, I wish that I could have kept the kind of hope and joy, that kind of like energy that I had through April to September, into September to December, but I really couldn't. And I know that had I done that, I would have gotten a lot more happy memories. I would have gotten to do a lot more things that I wanted to, but I didn't. And I think that's where a lot of that kind of grief is coming from, and kind of being upset with myself for having not done anything. But at the same time, I didn't really have good foundations in my life, and I didn't really have good structure, and I was kind of just beating a dead horse and trying to get through life pretending that I knew what I was doing when I wasn't, instead of asking for help. And all of that changed when my sister came over. You know, like I said in the previous video, that she kind of yelled at me and was like, hey, nobody hates you. Nobody's judging you, and even if they were, that they can kind of screw off. And I wish that I talked to her sooner, because I had wanted to, but I didn't know how. And I still don't really know how to talk to her or any of my family or most of my friends about what I've been going through, and the feelings that I've been having. Shortly after the conversation I had with my sister, I had a conversation with my boyfriend, and he was asleep at the time, so I was just sending him this huge long paragraph message, and I kind of was sitting with myself and sitting with everything my sister had told me, and I had kind of realized that I had run away from myself, and I had run away from my life entirely, and that I need to come back to myself. I need to come back to my life. I need to come back to the world. And it's hard, and it's scary, and I try my best, but I fail a lot. But I'm more aware of it now than I was, and by that I mean I'm aware of it at all. But we have this kind of metaphor that my mind is like a castle. It's like a tower, that people can come into and people can leave. And we have this metaphor that my mind is like a tower, and that outside of this tower there's a pond, which I guess is kind of when you remove yourself from yourself, and you're kind of in that outside perspective and just kind of sitting, you know, with yourself thinking, and not really ready to work on yourself, or not really ready to face your emotions or face your realities yet. And I had kind of said to him, I was like, hey, I don't think I've been in the tower, and I don't think I've even been in the pond. I think I kind of ventured out into woods, and I think I kind of got lost in the woods, and I think I've been kind of just sitting on a log, and I think I kind of just woke up and realized I've been sitting on a log in the woods, and I don't know how to get out, but I know that I need to start working my way out of those woods, and I need to start working my way to at least the pond. And he was very proud of me for realizing where I've been, and that I've been so disconnected from myself and from other people, and that I needed to work my way back. And we had kind of a back and forth, and kind of came to the conclusion that it was going to take a while. And he said that while I work my way through my woods, that he will be there shouting my name at the edge of the woods, waiting for the day that I finally find my way back out. And it's, to me, such a beautiful metaphor, and it's the best way that I can explain what it is that I'm currently going through, which is trying to weave my way through these woods and trying to get back to not just the castle, but at least just the pond, to just sit and be honest with other people, even if I can't fully feel myself just yet. And so that's where some of that heaviness is coming from. I think you missed. That's where some of that heaviness is coming from. And trying to figure out how on earth I'm gonna get out of this and how I'm gonna fix my life after having ventured so freaking deep into those woods. I think that's kind of all I have to say right now. It's 2026. I hope that 2026, Yuki, can you stop that? Is better than my 2025 was, and I can find everything in 2026 that I was looking for in 2025. And I hope that throughout this year that the rest of you can find some peace and some clarity in your lives, and I hope to grow together, and I hope to see you in the next one. That is all for now. Bye, Sarah.